Hiya lads at West Ham Fan TV, Lee here from Newcastle Fans TV for the preview, our take on the massive game coming up early this Saturday. Only one of the few games that isn't being moved because of the funeral of the Prince Philip. But it's a massive game. You lot are absolutely flying. David Moyes has been ridiculed over the years, ever really since he left Everton. He's been Real Sociedad, terrible there. Man United, a very tough job after Fergie. Sunderland down the road wasn't really liked down there. And he's been at West Ham twice now. And this season, I don't know what came up about it. West Ham are absolutely flying at the minute. You've got some really, really class talent. English talent as well in your side. And you've got a real good opportunity. And do you know what? And I'm afraid it's Kevin Keegan here, I would love it to see Leicester and West Ham qualify for the Champions League and get the big boys knocked out earlier on, get them in the Europa League, have two, and this is no disrespect, two unfashionable clubs like Leicester and West Ham finishing third and fourth. That would be brilliant for the English game. It really would, having you compete in the Champions League, which is mental, man. Absolute mental to think about it. But like I say, I know Declan Rice is injured, but he's been absolutely outstanding. Jesse Lingard, Christ, man, he's been absolutely like a man possessed. He's absolutely on fire, and he, at this current stage of the season, his form, he's got to be in that England squad. And I was never a big fan of Jesse Lingard. We were linked with him also for a loan in January, and I'm not going to lie, I was thinking, Jesse Lingard, is he better than Almiron? Is he better than Alan St. Maximin? But by God, make my words, because I wasn't a big fan of him, and he's blitzing it at the minute, man. How are we going to stop him? How are we going to stop him? He's the one you've got to look at. Mikel Antonio, I've said this to Dan plenty of times. Big fan of him. Big fan of him. He should have at least had an England call-up when he was banging the goals in the back end of last season, the start of this season as well. Big fan of him. Don't know if he'll start up top or not for years, but you've got talent, literally, especially going forward. And I hope you do get the top four, because I've spoke to Dan numerous of times at St James's Park and away from home when we're jumping on each other's channels, and it's always the same topic with each club: off the pitch problems constantly. Now I know most of the majority of the Hammers fans want Golden Sullivan out, and we're still stuck with Ashley, and the Mike Ashley is still fighting the Premier League, which is still happening behind the scenes, which is just mental for us. But the both sets of fans, West Ham remind me of Geordie's down south, whereas you're a trouble club off the pitch, and we're exactly the same up north. We're always talking about the owners. We're always talking about problems, boycotts, protests, and what have you all the time, because we're both of us are a passionate set of fans, and all we want is a little bit of hope and success. So credit to you fighting for Champions League. I hope you do get it. I really mean that. Whereas for us, we'll go into the game after a must-win. After Burnley, we had to win that game. It doesn't matter how pretty it was. We just had to win it. And Steve Bruce is not the man for Newcastle. Steve Bruce out. Didn't care that we won against Burnley. He has to go. He has to go. Even if we stay up the end of the season, he's not the man to take this club forward. You might say, oh, well, you can't really progress. You've got Mike Ashley in charge. To some extent, I agree to that. But I believe other managers with this squad, we should not be battling to hanging on at 17th position in the league. We've got an awful run of fixtures. We've got Leicester, we've got West Ham, of course, Arsenal, Manchester City, Liverpool, the next 5 fixtures, man. And then we play Sheffield United and Fulham the last 2 games of the season. So we've got to go in just try and nick a point. I'll be delighted if, you know what it is, some Toon fans might say, a point against West Ham, how are you, man? But I would not take a point now because it just gets so closer. But Steve Bruce has to go at the end of the season. He's got to go. Sick of saying it on our channel. Fed up of mentioning him. Didn't like the bloke. I think he's just not tactical awareness. He's a dinosaur, to use that phrase. Other managers can do better with this set of squad. There's an excuse. He contradicts himself all the time in press conference. He'll say something and 2 weeks later he's forgotten that he's saying it. So, for example, he was saying that there was a mole inside Newcastle's camp a couple of weeks ago. All of a sudden, there is no mole. And then he told the reporters that we've won 2 on the bounce. We haven't won 2 on the bounce. We drew against Spurs. We beat Burnley. That's not 2 on the bounce. oh man, just get out of a club. You can tell by I'm getting frustrated, man. I'm keeping it clean. Just get out of our club. We'd rather have, even if Mike Ashley's in charge, I'd rather have someone who's respected by the fan base. He's simply not good enough for our football club. But going into this weekend, Callum Wilson is expected to start. He came off the bench. A lot of movement up top. ESM was the game changer last week, Alan St-Maximin. He is the threat. He was sensational against Burnley. You're going to have to watch him. He might play on the left. He might play on the right. Burnley were petrified of him. Came off the bench, got an assist and got a goal. What more can you ask? I think he'll start. And I think Miguel Miron will. Ryan Fraser has missed the last couple of games, so it was disappointing because he scored 3 and 3 for Scotland. But going forward, that's your threat. John Joe Shelby, I always get asked this question, simply not good enough to be a Premier League footballer for Newcastle United. If you want him back, you can. I mean, if you want him, you can have him. I know he's a West Ham fan, but you probably not want him, but he's not good enough at this level. He's not consistent. Longstaff's been in and out the side. Matty can't even get a game, and the defence is just makeshift at the minute. We've got Fabian Schär out, Isaac Hayden, who's filled in, out for the season. Jamal Lascelles is out, so it's clear where the target is. You go down. Jacob Murphy has been playing well the last couple of games, but if you go down our flanks with pace and through our set midfield, I think he'll score. But like I say, if we can get a point, it would be fantastic. I want to be a Premier League side. I want to be bitching and moaning and celebrating with Dan, because obviously I collaborate with Dan on the channel a lot. Home and away, freezing cold, talking about the game, enjoy that being a Premier League club, but it's difficult being a Newcastle fan. And I'm rabbiting on, but score draw I'm hopeful of, but I wouldn't be surprised if you come up and put 2 or 3 past us, because we're 2 unbeaten, which is great, but it's Steve Bruce. You just, like Marmite, you love him or hate him, and that's the kind of performance that he puts in on the pitch. It's, you love Newcastle like we did against Burnley, but next week we expect to be absolute rubbish. That's the way we are. But yeah, Dan's going to be on our channel, so please head over to Newcastle Fans TV for all of the tuned content on Saturday, and I wish you all the best for getting top 4, but not against us, because we need to stay in this league. Ta-ra everyone, bye bye.